Bitcoin hitting $100,000 by early 2025. That's a bold prediction.
It is a pretty big number, yeah.
We're going to deep dive into some new analysis from 10x Research today to see if it actually makes sense.
They just came out with their latest report looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum price predictions based on current market trends and upcoming events. And I gotta say, it's a pretty wild ride.
So let's start with Bitcoin. 10x Research is predicting Bitcoin will reach $100,000 by January 2025.
That's right. And they've had a pretty impressive track record so far. They almost perfectly predicted Bitcoin's price at the 2024 halving,
which was a pretty significant event in the crypto world.
Definitely a big one. And their year-end 2023 target wasn't too far off either. So, they've got some credibility.
Okay, so let's dive into their rationale for this $100,000 prediction. They say their model recently triggered 2 buy signals.
Yeah, the last one was just a couple weeks ago on October 14th. And historically, when that happens, Bitcoin tends to see some serious gains.
How serious are we talking?
Well, their research shows that when Bitcoin sets a new 6-month high for the first time in 6 months, like it did recently, we typically see a median return of 40% over the next 3 months.
Wow, 40%. That's huge.
It is. And if that plays out this time around, well, you do the math. A 40% jump from Bitcoin's current price would put it over $101,000 by January 27th, 2025.
So they're not just pulling this number out of thin air. Yeah. There's some historical data to back it up.
Exactly. They've got the charts and the numbers to support their prediction. Now, beyond the buy signals, there are some other factors at play here too. One thing 10x Research talks about is this Bitcoin black hole effect.
A Bitcoin black hole. What is that?
Essentially, it's this idea that Bitcoin's dominance is increasing and it's pulling value away from altcoins.
Interesting. So as Bitcoin gets stronger, other cryptocurrencies are getting weaker.
Pretty much. That's the gist of it.
If you're enjoying this deep dive so far, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the latest crypto insights. But now, back to this Bitcoin black hole. What's causing this shift in the market?
Well, 10x Research argues that the narrative around crypto has changed. Remember a couple of years ago when everyone was talking about DeFi, decentralized finance?
Oh yeah, DeFi was the hot topic back then.
Right. But now the focus has shifted. Bitcoin is being perceived as digital gold, a stable asset for the long term. This is especially appealing to big institutional investors like BlackRock.
Makes sense. I mean, gold has always been seen as a safe haven asset. So if Bitcoin is the new digital gold, it makes sense that institutions would be interested.
Exactly. And the data backs us up. We're seeing very little selling interest, even as Bitcoin approaches a new potential all-time high. This suggests strong holder conviction. People are holding on to their Bitcoin because they believe in its long-term value.
And on top of that Bitcoin spot, ETFs bought $4.1 billion worth of Bitcoin just in October. And that momentum doesn't seem to be slowing down.
So yeah, there's definitely a lot of demand coming from institutional investors. And we're seeing this reflected in the performance of Bitcoin mining stocks. CleanSpark is up 39%. Iris Energy is up 13%. And BitDeer had a massive 24% jump in just one day.
Wow. Those are some serious gains.
Yeah, no kidding. And this actually lines up with what 10x Research was predicting. They've been saying that mining stocks are a leveraged play on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin surges, these stocks are set for major gains.
Makes sense. I mean, if Bitcoin is going up, the companies that mine it are going to benefit.
Precisely. And on top of all of this, there are a few upcoming catalysts that could really impact Bitcoin's price, especially for MicroStrategy.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. What's the deal with MicroStrategy?
Well, first of all, 10x Research is predicting a Trump victory in the U.S. elections. They believe this could lead to a pro-growth environment, which would be favorable for Bitcoin.
Interesting. So a potential political shift could have a big impact on the crypto market.
It definitely could. And as for MicroStrategy, they've got a massive Bitcoin holding. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars worth. And 10x Research thinks they could be added to the S&P 500 index on December 6th.
Wow. Getting added to the S&P 500? That's a big deal.
Huge. It would mean that index funds would be forced to buy their shares, and we could see a serious price surge.
So MicroStrategy could be a major beneficiary of this Bitcoin bull run.
They very well could be. And there's one more thing. 10x Research also mentions potential changes in accounting rules, which could allow companies to report their crypto holdings at fair market value.
So instead of having to write down their Bitcoin holdings when the price drops, they could report them at their current market value.
Exactly. And this could encourage more companies to hold Bitcoin in their treasuries.
That would be a major shift in corporate behavior.
It would, and it could have a ripple effect throughout the entire crypto market.
Wow. So there's a lot going on in the world of Bitcoin right now, and it sounds like 10x Research is pretty bullish on its future.
They are. They see a lot of positive trends and catalysts that could drive the price up significantly in the coming months and years.
All right. Well, we've covered a lot of ground on Bitcoin, but what about Ethereum? Where does 10x Research stand on that?
Well, the outlook for Ethereum isn't quite as rosy. As Bitcoin continues to set new highs, Ethereum hasn't even reached its previous all-time high from back in 2021.
Really? So Ethereum is lagging behind.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a tough time for ETH holders.
Why is that? What's holding Ethereum back?
Well, there are a few factors at play. One thing that's putting pressure on Ethereum is that staking yields are relatively low compared to options in traditional finance like treasury yields.
So if I can get a better return on my money by investing in something like a treasury bond, why would I stake my ETH?
That's the dilemma ETH holders are facing. The 2-year treasury yield is sitting at 4.1%, while ETH staking yields are just 2.9%. It's a pretty big difference, which makes Ethereum staking less attractive.
And that's not the only problem. Ethereum's dominance in initial coin offerings, ICOs, and DeFi has also taken a hit.
Yeah, cheaper meme tokens on other blockchains have been stealing the show lately. They're attracting a lot of the attention and investment that used to go to Ethereum-based projects.
So Ethereum is facing competition on multiple fronts.
It is. And here's another thing that's concerning. We're seeing a plateau in both daily active users and development activity on the Ethereum network. This raises questions about Ethereum's long-term potential, even with the price volatility it has experienced.
So even though the price of ETH goes up and down a lot, the underlying fundamentals of the network aren't necessarily growing as fast as they used to.
Right. That's what's worrying. Some analysts, 10x Research thinks there could be some short-term rallies for Ethereum, but they're skeptical about its long-term prospects unless there's some significant innovation.
Interesting. So they're not completely writing off Ethereum, but they're saying it needs to step up its game if it wants to remain a major player in the crypto world.
Absolutely. The next few years are going to be crucial for Ethereum. It either needs to find a way to regain its momentum or it risks falling behind.
Right. Well, we'll have to keep a close eye on that.